good, everyone? Today's Top Tuesday is going to be top 10 comics I recommend. Top 10 comic books, series. Some of these series are not complete. Some of them are brand new. But yeah, it's just my top 10 what I have really fallen in love with. Because one of the comics on this list, it's pretty new. And I've just really fallen in love with the series. And I was like, holy crap, I need to tell people about this. But I didn't really want to make one video about it. So I was like, you know what? We'll make a whole video about my top 10 comics. Alright, number 10, West Coast Avengers. Y'all ever heard of them? I mean, if you watch my channel normally, you have heard of them, because in the last video or the last couple videos back, I was actually talking about them and how I want to see them in the MCU. The West Coast Avengers is when they decide to have a West Coast team, because the rest of them are over there in New York. And so Hawkeye takes the lead on it and starts his own team. Starts off with Iron Man. And I said in my past videos, don't be having Robert Downey Jr., but that's because I had never read it. I just always thought I had skimmed some issues. And I had done, I had watched videos and whatnot on them. And I was like, dang, it actually seems really interesting. Plus, it has a lot of characters I like. The Iron Man on that is when Rhodey is Iron Man, not when Tony Stark's Iron Man. I didn't realize that. So, but yeah. Anyways, it's got Hawkeye, Iron Man, Moon Knight, Tigra, Wonder Man, Scarlet Witch, Vision. Just, they trade out throughout, as all superhero teams do. Anyways, it's a really good series. I just got into it, actually, because I found Vision Quest, the first, 4 parts to it. And I'd always wanted to read it, so I was reading it, and it was really good. And I went and found the complete Vision Quest storyline. Read all of that, really good. I loved seeing all the different characters, and I found the first issue, which I've always just wanted because it's a cool cover, and I got that and read that and how the team formed. Really cool issue. And then I have 2 or 3 just random issues that are they're sort of just there. I think I got 17 and 42 or something. They don't attach to the rest at all. But I skimmed through those, and I'm like, yeah, this is actually pretty good. Really good series, and I want to buy the rest of them eventually. I don't like shopping online, and it's hard to find them in shops and whatnot. Number 9 is my girl, Miss Marvel. She is my second favorite superhero of all time, and my favorite female superhero of all time. And she is Pakistani. You know what I mean? Pakistani. I think that's what it is. Either way, she's early high school or something. She's in high school. She's her parents, they're strict. They've become more loose, understanding parents these last couple months. But they're strict. They want to follow their traditions. They want her and her brother to dress right, marry the right people, etc. But she's trying to not go against it, but go against it, but respectively. And she's, now got powers, and that's pretty awesome. And it's just I love her character. She's always trying to help people. She's never selfish, never trying to get into drama. She looks up to all the superheroes, loves them all. She's in love with Captain Marvel. That's why she takes her name, Miss Marvel. And during the Civil War II event that's happening right now, she's struggling so bad because she loves Iron Man and Captain Marvel so much, and she doesn't want to choose sides. I mean, she does. I won't tell you who. But, yeah, she's an awesome superhero. She's always and big powers activate, and always says just corny, goofy stuff. But, she can stretch, expand her body, grow, shrink. I love how she travels, because she I don't know how to explain it, stretches her legs out and walks. It's really cool. And where was I? Maybe I'm going crazy. I feel like I heard something about her maybe making an appearance on the Ultimate Spider-Man show on Disney XD, which you best believe I'll be watching that episode. I know Spider-Gwen's making an appearance, and she's teamed up with Wolverine, Cap. She's on the Avengers right now. Soon she'll be a part of the Champions, a new comic book series. She's got really awesome friends and relationships. She's teamed up with the Inhumans, Lockjaw. It's a really good series. Highly recommend it. It's really good. Number 8, Nova. Now, not Richard, whatever his name is, Nova. Sam, the young Nova. I think that's the one that they have on the Spider-Man cartoon. I think it's Sam, but I could be wrong. But I think so. Either way, the one that's an Avenger right now and has his own comic book series right now. I only started reading it because he was a part of I wanted to start reading the new Avengers comic. And I read all of like the members comics, if that makes sense. So I started reading Nova, and it's really good. It's really good. He's nowhere near one of my favorite heroes, but like his mom's always, worrying, because he's a young kid. He's got friends. His friends just found out he was Nova, but he's still trying to lie about it. He's got a little sister. His dad's gone missing, and that's the main story arc right now in these, I think, first 9 issues we got. He's going up to space, and that event sort of goes into the Avengers issues too, which is really cool. And Iron Man's tried to help him, and he's always looking to do the right thing, always helping people out. I just love his motivation, his ambition, whatever the word I'm looking for here is, when he's like, because he is on the search for his dad. There's some like aliens been pretending to be his dad, but it's not really his dad. Finds that out, but he's actually a good alien, but there's other evil aliens that are trying to steal his dad's powers or something, and he just left to go to space, and he's trying to find his dad. So far, his journey isn't starting off too well, but I'm hoping it gets better so that he can find his dad. But I love him. He's just an awesome hero, and his power. And I love when he like just goes flying, just blasts through stuff. He just goes and just a perfect hole right through stuff all the time. I love him and Iron Man's relationship. I think they got a good relationship. I don't know, I really like it. Iron Man actually has a really good relationship with all the kid members of the Avengers right now, and it's really awesome. Alright, number 7, Vision. If you do not like Vision, well, something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. You need to go to get checked out, because Vision is such an awesome character. I love how they do him in Age of Ultron and Civil War. I love Vision and Scarlet Witch being together. I love just Vision ever since I first discovered Vision, whenever that was. I've just always loved him. He's such an awesome character, and he's at one point during West Coast Avengers, the Vision Quest storyline, he gets his memories and everything erased, so he's back to being feelingless, emotionless. There we go. But I don't know, he's just such an awesome character. I'm so glad he's in the MCU. And what's the guy that plays him? Whoever the voice of Jarvis is, he's doing a fantastic job. But no, he just got a new comic book series, and he's again trying to start his own family, and how his brainwaves and memories and whatnot are taken from Wonder Man. He did the same thing. He took it from Scarlet Witch and put it into his new robot wife. Her name's Viv. And then he has two kids, a son and a daughter. Vin, and I can't think of their names, but yeah. No, the daughter starts liking a boy, and the mom kills Grim Reaper and buries him, and then their neighbors. Oh my gosh, it was starting off so nice, just him and his little family, robotic family. But it went downhill so quick, and it's just so crazy. His son and daughter are being, made fun of. Everyone's terrified of them at school. The wife she's got her own secret agenda. She's really, oh my god, Viv or whatever his wife's name is. She's terrifying. Holy crap, she's terrifying. I think that'd be a really cool movie to see eventually, just later on down the road, because she's crazy. That's when you think of robots going crazy, his wife is crazy, and his daughter is gonna be on the Champions with Ms. Marvel and Nova and a couple other superheroes. So I'm pumped for that. That's gonna be awesome to see more of her. And yeah, besides Vision, it seems like his daughter's the most normal and good. His son's definitely got some problems. The wife 100%, 210% has problems. She's crazy. And no, I just love it and I love when Vision, like, you see this in Civil War. I love when he, like, takes down all of his other gear, if that makes sense, like his superhero gear, and puts on regular clothes like he's a regular human. I love that. And him and his family wear regular clothes. It's awesome. I'm a little behind. I think I'm like 3 issues behind. The last issue I read, he was basically just recapping his entire life, talking about how he was created, his relationship with Scarlet Witch, their kids, etc. It was showing how amazing their life was together, and it starts off with him and Scarlet Witch sitting in bed together, and he tells her a funny joke, and they enjoy their time together. In the end of the issue, he tells the same joke to his robotic wife, and she just sits there and like goes ha or something. Like, it's real creepy. Like, the relationship's completely different. Number 6. This is one I was talking about at the beginning of the video that I wanted to talk about. Paper girls. It's what it sounds like. Paper girls, paper boys, paper men, whatever you want to call them. People that deliver your paper. It takes place the 90s, I believe, and it's just 4 girls on a paper route. There's some, like, the bullies type guys, and they're following to an abandoned house, but they're not bullies. They're from another timeline or some crap, and they time travel. They get zapped to the present day, or close to the present day if it's not present day. And first thing they find is a little, like, iPod looking, like a little iPod Nano type thing. It has the Apple logo on it. Like, what is this? She goes, I think it's an apple. And that's the end of the first issue. They're in the future, and they gotta figure out what the heck's going on. There's these giant monster creatures fighting throughout the city. And I thought that was just a normal thing for the future or something. I was like, why is that here? But you find out in the most recent issue that those are maggots that traveled through another dimension with the other version of Aaron, which is the main character. But they grew for some reason, and then there's the older Aaron. And KJ, another character, went missing, and her cricket bat, maybe? I don't know what you call it. But either way, her something bat, they found it, and it has carved into it, don't trust the other Aaron. And does that mean don't trust the other young Aaron from another timeline, or the older Aaron from the present day? I don't know. It's confusing. And then there's Mac, who's found out that she's gonna die of cancer, lung cancer or something. So now she's freaking out and she's putting herself into danger. And then there's is her name Jessica, I believe? Tiffany. She's black. Yeah, but really good series. Oh my god, the artwork, the writing, everything about it is so amazing. And it's just every issue a big old cliffhanger, and you're like, oh my gosh, can we get to the next one? And like last school year, it started in like October, but I kept putting it off. I was like, maybe I'll buy it, maybe I won't. And I bought like the first 4 issues all together, read them. I was like, holy crap, this is really good. Then I think I bought the 5th issue, and then I waited, and there was no more issues. And I was like, what the heck? I was like, that could not be the end of the series, can it? And then finally I found out that they were coming back out in July. I was honestly scared because I thought that was the end of the series that quick. If you like sci-fi, time travel, aliens, giant maggots fighting in the city, clones, alternate copies of yourself, conspiracies, everything. This is the series for you. It's by Image Comics. I can't think of who the writers and whatnot are. I was actually tweeting about them the other day. Paper Girls. Go to your local comic shop and ask for it. Number 5, Watchmen. If you like comics at all, you've heard of Watchmen. Zack Snyder made the movie a few years back. Well, not a few years back. I think it was like 2009. Good movie. In my opinion, good movie. They definitely left out a lot of main points from the comics, 100%. But it's cool because then they have the director's cut, which gets more of the stuff, and then the extended cut or the ultimate edition or whatever. I have not watched it, but it adds in the whole relationship between the comic vendor and the kid that always keeps coming back. There's a separate DVD that my friend Hannah actually just bought me, and it has the comic book within the comic book. Like, it's just an entire story on it, so that's really cool. No, really good movie, really good comic. I'm pretty sure it's still the #1 graphic novel of all time. The characters are really awesome. The start of the series, the start of the issues, the story arc, the comedian is thrown out a window and murdered, and then Rorschach's journal, October 15th, 19, or whatever it is. a comedian died in New York. And I just, oh my god, Rorschach is my favorite. And I love it because in the movie and in the comic, you see Rorschach throughout the comic without realizing it's Rorschach. The comedian, he's a total dick. Like, he's crazy. And you love Silk Spectre. You love Dr. Manhattan. I love him. He's like, he reminds me of Vision a lot. Ozymandias and his weird tiger thing, Bubastis. In the movie, they just sort of throw him in, and you're like, where did this guy come from? But in the comic, you realize this is his pet that he's had forever. In the movie, they just toss him in there, and it's really random. Night Owl did really good. I love it. Night Owl's a really cool character. He's definitely not my favorite. I think he's fourth favorite. He's the Night Owl, the main Night Owl in the story, and the main Silk Spectre in the story are the second ones. Silk Spectre takes over from her mom, and Night Owl takes over from a guy named Hollis Mason. And there's Hooded Justice, but these are like previous heroes. Can't even think. There's Mothman. No, not Mothman. Yeah, nope. There's freaking, I can't think of any of their names. That's a dollar bill. Why can I not think of any of their names? That's really bothering me. But yeah, and Comedian was a part of that original team, and he joins, and then he's a part of the Watchmen in the later years. And someone's killing off masked heroes. Someone's killing off heroes. And they got to figure out why. Comedian kind of started figuring out what was going on, so that's why he got killed. A really violent, amazing story. This was an Alan Moore comic. Well, Alan Moore's known for doing amazing stuff. And I own all their action figures. I don't own like variants or whatnot, but I own the main ones. I own different versions of the movie, the comic. Before Watchmen, that's an also good series. They had Before Watchmen, the Minutemen, which is the team, the first superhero team. There's Before Watchmen, Dr. Manhattan, Before Watchmen, Comedian, and it just tells their stories before the Watchmen events take place. And I've only read Before Watchmen and Rorschach so far, and oh my gosh, it's so good. Rorschach is so awesome. He's just awesome and crazy and violent, and I love it. Still to this day, my favorite thing is when he's in the cafeteria and people are trying to fight him and the guards are coming in. He's like, you don't get it. You think I'm trapped in here with you? And like the guards are hitting him, trying to get him. He's like, but you're trapped in here with me. And I'm like, yes, yes, yes. I love his mask because it's the Rorschach thing and it changes and whatnot. And he's so psychotic. He is not mentally stable at all. Number 4 is IDW's take on TMNT. I love them. Always have, always will. Kevin Eastman returns. Restart the Ninja Turtle story. It's really good. Starts off with just the 3 turtles and Splinter. And Raphael's been separate. He was separated when they first mutated because of a guy named Old Hob, which he plays a big part throughout the entire series. They eventually, get back together. Leonardo turns evil. Donatello dies, but then he comes back to life. And do you remember Angel and Nobody from the 2003 series? I believe that's where they were both introduced. They bring them both back into this series, and it's cool because Angel is now in a robotic suit made by a guy named Harold, a friend of the Turtles. And when she's in the suit, she calls herself Nobody, and it's awesome. There's a new character named Olapex. There's the Rat King's really creepy and awesome in this. And his sister Kitsune's insane. Shredder's awesome. Bebop and Rocksteady are back, and they look fantastic. Karai's amazing. Krang and the Utrom Army, the Triceratons, Fugitoid. Everything about this series is amazing. Baxter Stockman, the Mousers. It's seriously so good. And in the more recent issues, we have just been introduced into the Street Phantoms from not Back to the Sewers. Fast Forward, TMNT Fast Forward, along with, oh my gosh, I know his name. Oh, he's the bad guy on Fast Forward. He's Cody Jones's, uncle or something. You know what? If you watch the show, you know who I'm talking about, and it's gonna drive Darius Dunn, something like that. You know who I'm talking about, though. It's awesome. They bring in new characters like Bludgeon and Koya. They bring in old characters like Rat King, Leatherhead. Trying to think of who else. Just everybody. It's Old Hobbs, a new character who's awesome. They got a cool take on Slash, and who else do we got? Mutagen Man's really cool. They bring in Ray Fillet, like, it's so awesome. The Null people, that's an awesome thing. They just created a new character, some scorpion person, in the most recent issue, or is that in TMNT Universe? Either way, it's really recent, and it's amazing. And they have all these awesome side stories that don't take very long, so you don't gotta stick to them. There's TMNT, Bebop, and Rocksteady Destroy Everything. I think that's 4 parts. Good series. Definitely confusing, lots of time travel. Renette's in it. Who else do we got? We got TMNT, Casey and April. That's a good series. It just focuses on them and the Rat King and some studying history of the Foot Clan. They have Utram Empire, which is I think a 4-part series. They have now they're starting TMNT Universe. They had TMNT with Ghostbusters, TMNT and Batman. But those are like them going to different, they're the Ghostbuster and the Batman dimension. And it's, oh my gosh, the entire series is just fantastic. Oh my, it's so good. It's been really good. Their take on Hun's really cool because it's Casey Jones' father in this series, which is really awesome. I love that. No, I love the art style. Sometimes they change the illustrators and I'm like, ew, this is a really crappy art style. Please do not ever do this again. And then it'll get to a really cool art style again and be good. The new TMNT Mutants in Manhattan, the art style on that is the art style from the comic, so that's really cool. Everything you want in a TMNT comic, it's so good. Number 3 is The Runaways, Marvel's The Runaways. This was my very first comic and graphic novel that I had read. I was talking about this actually in the previous video. The reason why I chose it is because on the main cover, it's a bunch of kids, and there's a kid on there that's black, glasses, afro. I used to have an afro, and I was like, that's awesome, that's me, I'm gonna read it. Really good. They find out their parents are evil, and so they go on the run. They run away. They all discover they have different abilities and powers, or gadgets, or even dinosaurs in some cases, and they're an awesome superhero team. Different members have left, died, new people have joined, as all superhero teams do. They had a newer series last fall. It was only like 3 issues. They crossed over with the Young Avengers. They met Cloak and Dagger. They've met Lightspeed from the Power Pack, Dark Hawk, I believe that's his name. Met a lot of people, done a lot of stuff. Really awesome to see all of them, and they were just confirmed for a Hulu series. I believe like the main story arc, there's like 11 small volumes, I believe, and they actually have all those at the comic book store, and I really want to buy them all. But yeah, I believe they have like 11-ish in the main story arc. Really good. All the characters in it are all relatable. They're all teens, you know. It's awesome. It's an awesome series. Cannot wait to see what they do with the Hulu show. I hope it's random actors that you don't really know, because I always loved what it's like that. Number 2 is Invincible, my number one superhero comic. It actually used to say on the top of like covers and whatnot, I would say like the best superhero comic out or of all time or something like that, and now it like crosses out superhero to where it's just the best comic of all time. And I just found out like a week or so back that Invincible is coming to an end. Why the heck? That's so stupid, but I guess it's because they don't want other people to eventually take it on and write and illustrate it. Them, like, this is Robert Kirkman and Ryan Otley saying this, like, don't want to be sitting there when they're 70 be like, hey, they're not doing this right, so they want to give it a good ending, and it's ending early 2017. I'm honestly super sad. Oh my god, Mark Grayson, that's Invincible. From that first panel of him sitting on the toilet to now, you've gotten so close to him. You love his brother Oliver, but you hate him. You love his dad, but you hate him. You love his mom. You love Eve. You love Amber. You love Alan. Alan's the best. I love him. You love Bulletproof, but you hate him. Like, why would he do that to us? All these characters, it's so... Rex Explode, you hate him, but you kind of like him. Robot, you love him, but you hate him. Like, why? That's insane. Monster Girl, you love her. She gets hot. Adam, Eve, and Mark are relationship goals for days. They're so amazing together. Their daughter, that's some emotional stuff. Couldn't even talk about that. Him and his father's drama, how he discovers about his little brother, all this space travel, now time travel. It is such a good series. He starts off his senior year, he graduates, tries to go to college, but fails epically because of being a superhero. There's all these crazy villains, and they have like just crappy little poo villains that just they toss in here and then. You like duplicate, Immortal, all the characters. I think his name's like Kid Thor or something like that. He's gotten a lot of older. He marries a girl with like boxing gloves. She's strong. There's a lot of Invincible alternate universe ones. Angstrom Levy. Oh my god, that's an awesome character, but crazy. Everybody in that comics, that series, so amazing. You get attached to every character, emotional wreck all the time. And then the Viltrumites are just crazy, especially the one like in charge right now going. And like there's such generic superheroes in it, but then there's so many unique ones like that are like completely unique to themselves you would have never thought of. Then there's some like the Elephant who's basically Rhino from Spider-Man, but then you find out that because he looks like a giant elephant with a white guy inside of it, you find out that he's a short little black guy. Titan's a cool guy. All of them Mulder twins. I love them. They're the best because they're not even twins. One of them's a clone of the other, but they don't know who. Then they clone a bunch of themselves, and they kill each other. They clone more. They never know who the clone is, and it's awesome. One time they do find out who the clone is, and so they kill each other because they don't like find. It's complicated. And number one is The Walking Dead. Truly the best comic book series of all time, truly. Robert Kirkman writes this as he does Invincible, No Wonder They're Both at the Top. The TV show is fantastic. From that first issue, Rick waking up from the coma and going on his journey to find his wife and son, finding the farm, meeting them, finding the prison, lots of drama happening in the prison, the governor, how crazy he is, going on the road for months, meeting Gabriel, Abraham, Rosita, Eugene, meeting random people on the road like cannibals, losing people like Dale, Herschel, Tyrese, Glenn, finding another community like Alexandria, then finding the hilltop, then finding the sanctuary and Negan being there, finding the kingdom, having Pete in his boat, now finding the Whisperers. It's non-stop drama, but you fall in love with all these characters. The most recent issue, they killed off somebody that a lot of people have hated throughout the years. I liked, then hated for a short bit, and then grew to love, and they killed him off, and that hurt me. Not a couple issues back, I'd say less than 10 back, they killed off 12 characters in one issue. 12, like come on, don't be doing that crap. And it's just awesome because Robert Kirkman, this is why he did it, was because he always loved zombie stories and shows and movies, but he was always tired of it ending and you just being like, okay, I assume they live, I assume they die. Like, what happens after that? So keep it going. And it's awesome because you get to see in the mind of all these people. You see this down to earth. Rick, he's an amazing guy. He's a stand-up father, husband, an amazing cop. He was great at his job. Nice guy. But now look at him, and he's so crazy. It's just, Carl was this innocent little boy who didn't know anything. And now he's missing an eye, and he's a bad A. Sophia was this innocent little girl. Now she'll beat the crap out of anyone stepping up to her. Michonne worked in a law firm, maybe it was. I don't know. She wore a suit and carried a briefcase. Now look at her samurai ass. Like, it's just so crazy to see these people. The governor, he's a psycho because he thinks that his niece is his daughter, and he's crazy, and he rapes and he beats and he murders and mutilates, and he's a legit psycho. And it's awesome because there's people eating other people. You get to see things you never really would have thought of. People wearing zombie faces, people rubbing zombie guts on them to camouflage themselves, people turning on themselves even though they are friends. It's an insane world, insane comic, an amazing comic. It's just an amazing series. And that's all I have to say, really. Thank you for sticking around for this long rant. I hope you will go and check out some of these comic books, because they are fantastic, all 10 of them. Definitely check out the ones closer to the top of the list, Start with one, make your way back, or start with 10 and get to the best one. Either way, they are fantastic. Highly recommend all of them. And until next time, stay geeky.